What is going on, my friends? Cubs fan Han here for yet another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force video. We got a mashup today, and my friends, I am super excited to introduce to you on my main channel, the one, the only, Valley Flying. What's going on, Valley?
Woo! What is going on, brother? How are you? I'm excited to be here.
Dude, I'm so...
I'm the main one this time.
It feels like it's for real this time because we've done so many videos on my second channel, your second channel. This is the first one where we're going to the big stage.
Oh, the big one, brother. I love it. I love it. What is up, guys?
Oh, man. So here's what we're talking about today. So we both play a lot of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force. Although I don't think you're playing a lot of Galaxy of Heroes anymore.
I was a former Star Wars Galaxy
you're retired,
of Heroes player.
But we do a lot of Marvel Strike Force stuff together. And as I started playing Strike Force on a very committed level, I've been, 40 days in now. I'm starting to, there's these things that I've noticed comparing the two games that I like better about each game. And so because a lot of you guys play both games or you're thinking about playing one or the other, I thought it'd be fun to come on here and talk about what Galaxy of Heroes does better and then contrast that with what Marvel Strike Force does better. Yes. You like it?
Each of them do some good things. I like it. Let's hear this list.
All right, let's start with one thing that Galaxy of Heroes does, in my opinion, miles better than Marvel Strike Force, and that is the squad selector. Now, if you look at Galaxy of Heroes, I don't know if have you seen the squad select over there, Valley?
Yes, I have. I have.
You salivated over it enough yet?
In the past few months, I know what it's like. Yes, and it is way better. It is ridiculous how bad it is in Strike Force.
Yeah, so in Marvel Strike Force, I'll go over here. I've got something I should mention is all the pop-ups. But if you go into your arena, you can go in here and you see you're gonna change. And look, the game's also really.
What 1,008.
Don't laugh at my power. Don't laugh at my power.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing.
All right, so if I pick a guy right here, I can go in here to my squad selector. This is it. This is all I've got. I can only do 15 spots. I think when you get into the end game, you can do 20 in the end game, I think, and that's it. That's it. And also, what's more, when you go in here to select, there's no filter. All you have to scroll through everyone. Which right now for me, I don't have that many. That's not that hard. But when I was doing it on the test account, it was absolutely murder finding these. Now in Galaxy of Heroes, it's just so much more intuitive. Look at everything you've got in here. You have tabs. You can select unique only.
For different game modes. Imagine that. I love that.
Yeah, and you could go in here, you could build squads like if you're doing Blitz mode and Strike Force, you could build squads, so you're not setting any duplicates. There's just so much more you can do about this.
Yes. Port it over, guys, at Fox next to Marvel Strike Force. There's some good things about Marvel Strike Force as well, but this is one of my main criticisms. This doesn't make it fun.
Yep.
You have to scroll through all that every time you want to use it because there's 20 save squads. There's more than 100 characters, so not every character is gonna have a team.
And there's so many different ways to use teams. Like, I mean, the way that you're going to face characters in Alliance War versus the way you're going to face them in Blitz is totally different. And so you need tabs at least too, right?
Yes, for each game mode, yeah. At least, and I know there's a bunch of tabs you could add in there. Just give us at least one for each game mode.
It would at least be better too if you could.
I would love it. I would love it
if you could type in the search. Like. Find this character, or at least filter by faction too when you're selecting those squads.
That's like a memory of my past. I don't know what that is.
Did you know Galaxy of Heroes has that?
I do.
Oh, okay. You're just being fun. Stop being my channel.
Oh, what are you doing?
We like our swear buttons too much. All right, let's talk about the next one on the list. We're going to talk about something that Marvel Strike Force does better, and that is content. Tell us a little bit about this, Valley.
All right, so they push out a lot of content. Some would say a little too much, but and in the form of characters, they're different game modes. They're adding different events all the time, and there's a lot of content. There's a lot of things to do in the game as well. So that is one area. It takes a lot of time to play, and yeah. So there's a lot of stuff to do in Marvel Strike Force where there wasn't as much back when I was playing.
Yeah. For sure.
Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah. Oh, well, and it's even worse. I mean, we are how many days into January now? 17 days into January, and we haven't had anything from Galaxy of Heroes yet. Nothing.
Oh, my goodness. So, for better or worse, we've had 2 new characters introduced within the past week, which is kind of crazy, but Yeah.
So I think we did get one character who is that's it. But anyway, yep, there's a lot more content in Marvel Strike Force, and I personally, if I had to choose between too much content and not enough, I'm going to choose too much, but that's easy for me to say being on this side of the fence where Galaxy of Heroes is kind of my primary game. So,
yes.
All right, let's talk about something Galaxy of Heroes does better, and that is the arena ranking system. And what I want to talk about with that, if you look at Marvel Strike Force, tell me if this drives you nuts, all right? It's just driving me nuts. But when I refresh my arena rank, it is not giving me the top team every time. And so if I wanted to get to 1035, I've got to wait until I get that available. Does that drive you nuts?
I'm kind of mixed on this. I do like to go right to it. I play Dragon Champions along with you as well.
Yeah.
And that's how it is in Dragon Champions. And
yeah, see right here, every time I refresh,
all right, that's the fight
17 is available.
That's the fight I got to do. Yeah. So now in Dragon Champions, it's a little different because I can't beat all the teams. In Marvel Strike Force, I could beat every team. So just knowing that rank is great.
Yeah.
The one good thing I would say that it does give some options though. Like if there's a team at the top spot that I can't beat, I would be able to cycle through and give a few options with that instead of just going to that one option.
Okay.
And then having different options at the last two spots. You know what I mean?
Next one for Marvel Strike Force. What Marvel Strike Force is better. I really like the orb system and just how many orbs they've gotten, how much they are constantly giving to you. Now, a negative about this is that the game is a lot more grindy, I feel like, than Galaxy of Heroes, but that's in some ways offset by just the sheer amount of resources they're constantly throwing at you for everything you do in this game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think the orbs, especially the premium orbs, are very, very friendly for newer players. After a while, these orbs are kind of irrelevant because you have all these characters. But in the early game, where you are in the mid game, those come in very, very handy because you're getting all kinds of shards for some newer characters, and it's good. It's nice that there's so many and they're so prevalent.
Yeah,
and I think it is a good balance for helping to speed up that playtime for newer players as well. So it's kind of a catch-up mechanic in some way.
For sure. And for those who aren't familiar, the Premium Orb is probably compared mostly to the Chromium Pack in Galaxy of Heroes. And the only way to get the Chromium Pack is through crystals. You're constantly accruing orb fragments, they're called in Marvel Strike Force, that allow you to open one of these for free. And so it's like you get a free Chromium Pack every few days in Galaxy of Heroes, but you get that in Marvel Strike Force, so I think that's pretty good. All right, something else that Galaxy of Heroes does better. We're bouncing back to Galaxy of Heroes, and I'm going to say two words, and I don't think anyone's going to be surprised. Grand Arena. Do you know what Grand Arena is, Ali?
This is something that came out after I stopped playing, so I'm not super familiar with it, but I know that everybody in the Star Wars community loves this game mode. So yes.
Yeah, if Marvel Strike Force came out with Grand Arena, that would be a very good idea. It's basically like your Alliance War, your Territory War, only boiled down to an individual basis. And so you've got 7 to 8 squads you're programming. Sometimes you're only doing 3v3, and you're setting a defense, and then you have to get through your opponent's offense or your opponent's defense. This to me is the most fun by far I have in this game. Now, to the credit of Marvel Strike Force, they do have Alliance War, which I'm not able to participate in because of my alliance yet. I'm gonna probably move to a new one so I can do that. My squad's not really that deep yet, but that kind of gets to something that we thought was not as great about Strike Force was the Alliance War, right?
Yeah, I mean, these two topics go hand in hand. Alliance War, I gotta give it to Fox Next, is a great game mode once in a while.
Yeah.
Having to do this 3 times a week where you have to log in at a specific time every other day almost, and be on the watch of your alliance for like the first 3 hours of that war. Not fun. If you're a competitive alliance, that's how it is. If you're not as competitive in the game mode, in your alliance, then it's not as bad. It's not as strict.
So you get punished for not being in there early on the first 3 hours.
Yeah, because because there are different boosts in each room. If you take out certain rooms, then you lose these boosts. So you want to try to hit these rooms as quick as possible to kind of disable your enemy. Whereas territory wars in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the timing is not as important. Yeah, you just hit it sometime within that 24 hours. You can do all your attacks right there. But the attacks are spread out throughout the whole 24 hours in Alliance War and Marvel Strike Force. So it's a lot more time consuming. So I prefer all the war stuff in Galaxy of Heroes a lot better. All
right, next thing that's done a bit better in Marvel Strike Force, and I'm just going to talk. So we talked about Grand Arena as a game mode that we like over in Galaxy of Heroes. I'm going to say I really like the Blitz mode. Now, I know if for super competitive players, I think this gets a little too grindy at the end, but from where I'm at in the beginning game, this is something that I would love to have in Galaxy of Heroes because it's kind of just like this place I can go and just play the game for a good long while and enjoy the game. We don't have anything quite this versatile in Galaxy of Heroes. It's almost like a bit of a sandbox mode, and I really appreciate that. So I think Blitz mode is better.
I would agree with you. I like Blitz mode, and I may be in the minority of the community because
I know a lot of people don't like it. So
it does get a lot grindy, like you said. But it is a good place that you could test out your characters because there's not a lot of consequence if you lose those battles. You'll lose some points. You might lose a tier in your point multiplier, but there's no real consequence other than that for losing these battles. So you could go and test some weird teams. And it's just fun. I like the 5 versus 5 more than some of these longer campaigns or raids. So this is what I like about the game. And War is also 5 versus 5, but there's a lot of consequences if you lose. So, it's not as fun in my opinion as Blitz. But I love Blitz. I love grinding for that. And the good thing is if I just want to play it, I can. But there's a lot of strong teams that if I just want to score and have to do other things, that I could auto with these teams. So I'm a fan of Blitz. Everybody has their favorite game modes. Blitz is one of my favorite game modes in Strike Force.
Cool. All right, something else that Galaxy of Heroes does better, where this is the last thing for Galaxy of Heroes, then one more for Marvel Strike Force. Galaxy of Heroes, in my opinion, manages the grind of this game better. And in particular, the amount of RNG needed to max out a character is a lot different than Strike Force. So in Galaxy of Heroes, when I farm a character, the only real RNG that is needed to farm that character is, like, for example, when I go in and I farm their shards, how many shards am I going to get if I'm farming them on a hard node? When I farm their gear, and for some reason my games are both running very slow right now, when I go in to farm their gear, the amount of gear I get at once might be, pretty variable based on how much. But if you look at Marvel Strike Force, you've got red stars. And so to fully max out a character, you're going to need to have the RNG favor you so that you can get the red stars. And then also, that's just talking about the red stars, the grind component of it. Look at Daredevil. Getting him to 5 stars right now, I need 130 shards. I think you need to get from 6 to 7 stars, 330 shards or something like that.
I think
300 something.
So I think is 330 is what's coming to my head to.
So it's 300 something. So a lot more distance to go. I mean, I've got it's just 330 shards total from 0 to 7 stars in Galaxy of Heroes. So Galaxy of Heroes feels like it manages the grind better, and there's less RNG to max out characters.
I definitely agree about the red stars. Not sure about the grind because I mean I think the total amount that you'd have to be farming a character is about the same because you're getting more shards per node.
Sure.
But I think it is a little more in Strike Force. So it's a longer to get that maxed out roster. But yeah, the red stars, you can't control that. Yeah. I just after a little over a year. I just got my first 7 red star character. Wow. I know there's a lot of people that have spent a lot more than me and have been open way more orbs than me. They still don't have their first 7-star character because it's all based on luck. It's all based on gambling, and that's probably the worst part about Strike Force.
Yeah, I can't imagine not being able to, like, if I want to max out a character, I know what I need to do to get there. It's going to take time, but I know I'll get there. I can't imagine accepting that the RNG may never work out for me to have a 7-star red star Padme, for example. I just can't fathom that. So I think that that's something Galaxy of Heroes kind of smashes Marvel Strike Force in, mostly because of the red stars. And then the last thing that Marvel Strike Force does better, kind of, is I'm going to say I really like the Alliance raids. Now, Galaxy of Heroes, I think that there's things to like about Galaxy of Heroes raids quite a bit. They've got the cutscenes, they've got, a little more of that facing a boss mechanic. But I like, and we don't have one open right now, so I'm not able to show it. But I like how frequently you can have raids open in Marvel Strike Force, how many different options there are, and the mapping mechanic of going from node to node. It's kind of like a Guild Galactic War in a lot of ways. What do you think about that?
I think that's a perfect way to describe the raids.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier about Blitz mode, everybody has their favorite modes. There's a lot of people that like Blitz, raids a lot more than Blitz. I'm on the side of Blitz, though. I like Blitz a lot more than raids. Raids, I like them in the beginning. I like the newness. I try to figure it out. After a while, though, just the time consumption is tough. You're launching these every single day, whereas I think the raids in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is every third day or something like that. Back when I was playing, we would do these maybe every other day or every third day.
Yeah, you could do pretty close to that for the top raid. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it is fun at the beginning, but I think your opinions may change after a few months of doing these. So maybe not. Like I said, everybody has their own.
A lot of it is probably that
mode,
I'm in the beginning game, and I'm also I'm coming from a game where there's just not enough to do, and so seeing I think Blitz mode and the raids in particular, how much there is to do there, I'm just like, thank you for letting me use my stuff. So. Anyway.
Nice.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me add one more about Strike Force. Let me add one more about Strike Force.
Oh, yeah, you got a bonus.
I wanted to surprise you about this.
Bonus.
All right. In Galaxy of Heroes, there's 2 auto modes. That you could auto, the computer plays it how they want, or there's auto with just the basics.
Yeah.
Now, what I would love, especially for the raids in Marvel Strike Force, is just to have auto with just hitting the basics, because in the raids, it's kind of like the Galactic War, right? Is that the name of the game mode? Okay.
Yeah.
So your cooldowns matter. You need to get your cooldowns to matter, and having it just basic is basic, so your cooldowns match for the next node is important. So
interesting.
That would make the grind of raids a lot less. For me, in my opinion, I think that would be a much welcome change.
Yeah. Let me show you this right here. You can go into these battles. This squad totally makes sense here, by the way. We were doing a Galactic War trying to keep my least healthy character and my whole roster alive the whole time. And we did it on a stream. But yeah, we could do...
Nice. Well, that's how you can make original content for yourself, right?
That's what I've done. Yeah, that's how you do it. You got to create it yourself. That's what I've done with tournaments, too. So yeah, you go to Auto Battle right here and hit Basic. And then there you go. That's all you need right there, Valley. Basics only.
I missed that. I want that and save squads.
Yeah, I think the squad selector especially, to me, is just absolutely massive. Like, I was on the test account. It doesn't matter to me in my personal account that much right now, but I was over on the test account getting things programmed.
Right now is that key word in that sentence.
Yeah, well, and I got a glimpse of it, though, because I wanted to practice against some teams, get to know some of the late game teams, and it just took me so long to just program 2 teams, 3 teams, and I can't. Anyway, it's terrible.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us today. This is our list of what Galaxy of Heroes does better than Strike Force and what Marvel Strike Force does better than Galaxy of Heroes. What is your list? Let me know down in the comments below. And Valley, before we head out, do you have any parting words of wisdom for everyone?
If you want to check out more Marvel Strike Force content, obviously check out Cubs' second channel.
Yeah.
You can also check out my channel, though, and hopefully the link will be down below. But if not, just Valley fly it.
I will definitely post a link down below for you and for me. Check out Valley's main channel, and then check out my second channel for lots more Marvel Strike Force content. So thanks again for joining me for the video, my friends, and as always, my brothers, don't forget